is just pick for the early game, pick the pressure junglers, not the Sejuani, pick the pressure laners. Maybe you can still play the game plan, but have pressure in other lanes and try and take it away from Kongdoo and not allow them to opt into a fairly even game 25 minutes in.
Yep, sounds like a good plan. Poppy banned out against Ixu, and we'll see what the first ban from the Afreeca Freecs side is going to be.
Kongdoo on blue means red side last pick is available to Afreeca. I have to think the Z ban is going to start coming out. This definitely feels like a Z ban game from Kongdoo otherwise. Just like I was feeling Faker playing the Azir, I think it's going to be Z time for Mickey.
Yep, Varus the ban. Yeah, might be Z time for Mickey. And I mean, I still expect Afreeca to win this game. Or to win this match, rather. Not going to be Z time as Z gets banned away.
On blue side especially, when last pick is available to your opponent, I think you have to ban the Z.
Yeah, definitely.
So the standard bans against Afreeca, they were actually in full display. Last time these two teams met were both the Z and the Twisted Fate bans. So interesting to see if Mickey gets Twisted Fate this game.
Yep.
It's changed much for Kongdoo. They drafted a meta comp. Okay, the Quinn mid was something different, but they played it very well. So far haven't drawn a Quinn ban.
Kalista, though, be banned away. All right, so the final ban coming in for Afreeca Freecs now. And so what do they want to try to guide Kongdoo Monster into first picking here? That's the real question, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of champions here that we don't expect in the ban pool. Varus, the Varus, Kindred, and Zed are all kind of adaptation bans. Nidalee would have been first pick, so that's a smart ban. But I think Afreeca are fine. We're picking up 2 power picks on the red side. There's no single champion from Kongdoo that have picked up any wins apart from the Varus. That's the one-man army champion for Kongdoo. That's the only champion they've shown consistent results with. It's banned away early, so yeah. Probably going to be a similar poke champion, though. Probably going to be the Corki.
Yep, Corki makes sense as a first pick for Kongdoo Monster. A lot of options, though, on the Freecs side. I don't think it'd be bad to take Lysandra again. They're going to actually take the Nautilus. Hippo had a rough start, but in the end was able to make some good plays on that. Okay, they will take the Corki, actually.
Flash the Nautilus, though. Even though the laning matchup was looking poor, got solo killed and ganked a few times, Nautilus for team comp ended up being more important than Gangplank. So
Soraka, what is this, NA? I don't think so.
They'll just hold on to it. Probably not going to see a Soraka. I think we've seen one Soraka this season. It won from memory.
In Champions? I
believe I cast a Soraka game.
Okay.
Sometime earlier this season. We've seen, speaking of champions that saw play in the LPL, so did Master Yi.
Yeah.
Good old mate Insect played that one, though, and they won.
Dude, if Afreeca would lock in Soraka, Master Yi, I'd be like, all right, I'm throwing out all the paperwork for this one.
Hey, what do we call the first game if not a silver level game, Doa? Doesn't Soraka and Master Yi make a lot of sense?
No, Master Yi is always banned, man, because he's the dude that comes in when your AD carry pushes up too far and kills him, and you're like, well, there's only so much a support can do. Master
Yi also permabanned at Platinum Elo on the Korean server recently in my games, so people are converting to the Yi bans. Silver is becoming Platinum. That's some alchemy right there.
I suppose. Well, Silver is already NA Platinum, so...
Oh.
So, we've got that.
Sivir priority going to continue, you'd have to think. Soul played a really good Sivir. Sivir's been doing a lot of winning in basically every game, so I'm consistently surprised his champion on 6.4 has not been banned or early rotation, but if we don't see any changes, expect our priority to only keep going up.
Yeah, and we might see Ixu take that Gangplank again. It wasn't a bad pick for him. He just kind of got outscaled by Edge's Quinn last game. If they, okay, they can't go for the Sejuani again. They've already picked up the Gragas, so we don't need to worry about that.
They could go for Vayne, though.
They could go for Vayne, that is true.
I don't like Kog'Maw into Sivir. I think that matchup in a 5v5 just doesn't work because Kog'Maw needs to be in that one spot. But Vayne certainly, we've seen already a couple of times, and famously was always a great laning answer, especially after Play the Ruined King against Sivir.
Kog'Maw seems a bit risky, and I really doubt we're going to see a Yasuo here. Yeah, there we go. Maybe a Quinn, but that's an early pick. So where will that Quinn go? That's the question.
So they have the Gragas and Trundle for disengage. They still go for the Kog'Maw. I think this is pretty risky. Expect Kongdoo to pick up more of a front line to synergize with the Sivir ultimate.
Yep.
if they want to really punish the Cog. Now, Gangplank wouldn't really be a champion in that, a frontline champion, but Cannon Barrage, another ability to punish the fairly immobile Kog'Maw.
I like that. Then again, you just go for massive engage with Alistar and maybe something else.
Sandra is an option.
Well, who's your jungler then?
That's a good point. They need to pick a jungle. It's not going to be Devour Nautilus, unfortunately.
Yeah.
My favorite solo Q troll build. If you go Devour Rageblade Nautilus, it's hilarious.
Jeez.
You also
I don't think we're going to see that today.
Really fast, Doa.
I believe it, yeah. What about a Rumble for a jungler here?
Jungle Rumble, certainly.
Against the Kog'Maw, I think that's pretty decent.
It was an adaptation pick for Jinair. So it was actually Longzhu who picked the last pick to punish Kog'Maw, who once again can't just chill on top of the equalizer. But no, they don't pick that. They do have champions that to some degree synergize, but it's not the double frontline team from Kongdoo. Still, Kog'Maw is going to have to cower in fear because they're still coming for him with immense speed.
Oh yeah. I'm not quite sure why you wouldn't go with an Alistar here though, huh? I mean, if the whole idea is to get in on the Kog'Maw, why not go for the best support at doing that?
I guess the idea is that someone gets a concussive blow stack on the Kog'Maw and there's going to be multiple people in range to get more.
Right, that's the idea, but is it good?
I don't think it's good as Alistar, so that answers your question.
That's what I'm looking for. Your opinion.
But see, the big issue is that if Afreeca had just flexed this Trundle top and taken Braum, then they would have had so much disengage that maybe you never get to that Afreeca.
Could be.
To that Kog'Maw, sorry.
Could be.
Speaking of flex.
Yeah, it might be a top Graves here. And it will be. Okay, so top Graves for Ixu. That Trundle's going down to support.
Operation Push in Nautilus is going to be happening from Ixu. More and more top lane Graves. First it was only Trace, now everyone's starting to subscribe to top lane Graves.
Or, I mean, you'd expect them to switch it, but right now they're running
There is a really good jungle Graves.
Yeah. How is Gragas in the solo lane, in your opinion, right now?
You know, he's not that bad. He has decent wave clear. He's good to gank for because he has so many different CCs. You just wait for the jungler to come up, bounce them into your turret, and go away with it. So
it's true.
It is going to be top lane Gragas. Okay.
Pep
I don't mind it at all.
From the coach, yeah, and it will be that top lane Gragas for the Afreeca Freecs. So switching things up again. They are going for triple AD, although Kog'Maw, of course, provides a good amount of AP damage too. So we've got that going for him. And it's going to be hard for Soul to get in range to attack with Trundle and his pillars, you know. So I feel like I like the comp coming out of Afreeca. What do you think?
I think it's really interesting. It's going to be all about whether they can punish something, whether they can get the drop on the Kog'Maw. And with this much disengage, it's looking difficult. It is triple AD carry and 2 frontliners though. So if Ixu's really denied in the lane top, it might be a problem, but you're expecting to get more farm. And Gragas can definitely be unkillable with his W and all the tank items he can pick up with solo lane farm.
I suppose it is possible. And either way, it's time for Afreeca Freecs to try to tie things up. Let's see if they can do it.
We'll find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on.
And welcome once again to Summoner's Rift tonight. Afreeca Freecs taking on Kongdoo Monster. And Kongdoo actually in a position to get their first 2-0 of the season if they can beat the Freecs in this game. It's not going to be easy.
Really interesting comps from both sides. Afreeca's, the moment that they settled on the top lane Gragas is really interesting. Obviously it's a complete tank fight between the Gragas and Nautilus, but one item that Gragas is always really synergized with is Spirit Visage. His passive, of course, gives him percentage sustain effectively, so percentage of his max health on spell cast every 12 seconds, and Spirit Visage only amplifies that healing. When you're against a top lane Nautilus and a jungle Elise, you're expecting a lot of magic damage coming in. You itemize very naturally into Spirit Visage, which is often too much of a luxury from the jungle. And actually, it might be a fairly immovable Gragas who one of his big things is you can max Q, farm from safety, and have the ability to push in the waves a bit like Maokai can with his saplings.
Could be. We will see. Looks like it will be a lane swap. And here comes Sol and Guger.
Also, talking about the lane swap, Gragas, of course, got the buffs to his jungle, so does clear very fast. Kongdoo looking for a contest.
That's right, Cougar and Soul coming in. Oh, the Q misses. They, we'll see what they want to do, though. They're chasing Snowflower and Songyun all the way back to their turret. But that means that the Freecs are going to get a little bit of a head start in this 2v2.
And Songyun can just pop his W and push pretty fast, maybe even get that level 2 advantage. Not really going to be kill pressure, but will help with the trading. And we get standard lanes.
Yeah, well, sort of standard lanes. I mean, reverse standard lanes, I guess you could say.
Indeed.
This will not be a very exciting lane to watch.
Well, guess what? Gragas has no ability power at all, so yep, no kill pressure whatsoever.
Yep.
Could have understood getting some flat AP for just bombing down those minion waves a bit better, but no such luck from Ixu.
Makes sense. For now, it looks like Songyun and Snowflower are going to be pushed back in that top lane.
Speaking of being pushed back, Mickey does not have the wave clear options that a Corki does, so especially early, he's going to have to be under his turret for the majority.
True.
Trying the Faker approach of anything you can do, I can do better, by picking up the Quinn this time.
Yeah, hey, it worked for Faker last series. Maybe it'll work for Mickey this time around, although Faker didn't lose in game 1, though.
That's true.
That's the thing. He wasn't beaten by the Azir when he picked it.
Well, trying to maintain some dignity nonetheless for Mickey.
The true Faker way is to, like, take the champion your opponent just lost on.
Sure, win the reverse matchup.
Right, for the double humiliation.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Nice dodge on that Braum Q by Songyun.
So expect Kongdoo to just push up in mid, push up in top. Bot lane actually going to be harder to push, but a lot of jungle pressure available, so Crush could certainly get aggressive with his pathing, because no way for Kog'Maw to counter push against Sivir.
Yep. Edge just Valkyrie away, a short distance.
Edge has to be careful. More aggressive laning summoner of Ignite taken by Mickey, so the exhaust versus Ignite war, you have to be very careful if you're Edge.
Well, Mickey's definitely the type of mid laner, too, that wants to fight you if he can, you know? So at some point, we're definitely going to see the all-in from Quinn.
There's nothing more fun than watching Mickey play mid lane Corki, because there's some people that just let the package go, but he gets into melee range with it almost every time. Looking for that big damage.
Unfortunately, Quinn doesn't get the package.
No, Edge doesn't.
It's true. If Quinn could pick up the package, that would be a whole different...
Holy, the movement speed.
I know, right?
Now I'm disappointed that she can't get the package.
Oh, well. Quinn is the package.
That's true.
Because Valor picks her up and flies around holding her.
Not every 4 minutes. Every time she goes back to base with home guards.
It's true. Quinn is a perpetual package. Hippo pushing up this lane just a little bit. Yeah, let's see what Lyra can get done in the opposing jungle.
Hunting his prey.
Crush may be in a little bit of trouble, taking some damage. Just going to go after the minions instead. Gets all the Raptors, I believe.
Risky, with all the lanes pushed up, but got the drop, so did just fine in the trade.
Yeah, interesting stuff. And Soul and Cougar really pushing this top lane turret hard.
See, the CS certainly can't be denied from Songyun if you're pushing the lane hard. Pushing the lane is certainly the more smart strategy in competitive play, because you get advantages in other lanes with the pressure you're drawing in top. But once again, if they're just trading farm, Kog'Maw is going to get more out of that than Sivir.
True. Does seem to be the case. Here comes Lyra for a gank up in top lane. Cougar and Soul still have their summoners available. Snowflower comes in, tries to slow down that Braum. Lyra on the job. There's the exhaust, and so no summoners, or actually a couple summoners used by Kongdoo Monster, just that heal and that exhaust. So a little bit of a win there for the Afreeca Freecs up in top lane.
Edge needs to be careful, sitting at about 300 health. Q auto attack and Ignite probably will take him down.
Probably. Now we'll see how aggressive Mickey really wants to be.
And it's really aggressive, but whether he gets away with it.
Good. Ah, Ixu finds Crush. Gonna go in, a lot of damage.
Got
There's
the Gromp.
Repel. Where's he going to? Yeah, he did get the Gromp.
Uh-oh,
Crush trying to back up. Wow,
dead.
flashes for it. Forces a flash from that Elise. Nice explosive cask, and that's first blood for the Freecs. Really well played by Mickey and Ixu there.
I mean, Mickey didn't even get an assist. You don't expect...
Oh, yeah, you're right. He did.
The top laner's barrel mechanics are that good. Samyun's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, very, very low. Braum trying to stop his AD carry from dying. Flash from Soul. Gets the stun from that Braum passive. A few more will do it, and Cougar goes in for the bloodthirsty support kill. Kog'Maw with a bit of return damage, and here comes Lyra. They got to be careful. Teleport coming in now for Kongdoo. Lyra sticking around. There's the ult immediately from Hippo. They're going to turn onto Lyra, and that's going to be a kill for Kongdoo at the end. Soul got it. Close call. Now they're going to charge onto Snowflower, and that's going to be one. Oh, I thought Hippo was going to get time for that last auto, but flash used, and Snowflower barely escapes.
Doa, there's no words to describe how clutch the Unbreakable was from Guga. He blocked the ultimate that would have got a double kill on both backline as Lyra tried to spare his blushes with a flash, so died with using the flash as well. I can't wait to see the replay, but the fact that those two, the AD carry and support from Kongdoo lived there was just inch-perfect execution from both. Big win too. Afreeca invest a lot and get nothing whatsoever.
That's right. Gold is all even up between these two teams now. Edge on the run though. Mickey looks like he's going for it now. Thought maybe he'd go all in there, but decides to hold off at the last minute. But this game has suddenly gotten a little bit more action-packed, hasn't it?
Remember, it was Afreeca on top, despite having the weaker early game comp in the previous game, then Kongdoo eventually wrestling it back for them. This time, it's all even.
Well, if Afreeca Freecs lose 2-0 to Kongdoo Monster, that would be, it would be shocking, but it'd be kind of yet another chapter in the crazy saga that has been the season for the Afreeca Freecs.
Becoming the new Jin Air, Doa, in the...
A little bit.
They rob from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah, we'll see. Interesting start, though, to this one.
Sad we don't get a replay, but maybe get one a little bit later.
I thought it was replay worthy.
Me too.
All right, well, the Freecs working on those lanes. Looks like the teams have just agreed to trade turrets here.
Will fall. Mirror takes, as you mentioned.
Yep. Freecs taking just a little bit longer to take down that top turret. Just going to do a little bit of dirty farming in the meantime.
Freecs are happy with any spare time.
You go for the dragon if you're Kongdoo. I mean, you know the other team is occupied with that turret. Might be an easy dragon.
Afreeca aren't looking to contest the dragon. Samyun still. One of the big drawbacks of Kog'Maw is that you build into Rage Blade and it builds so poorly. Pickaxe is nice, but blasting one 1,000 gold plus recipe is not so much fun. The power is only completed when you're getting those multiple stacks and you have the ability or the item fully stacked. So for now, no team fighting.
That's right.
Well, that's a short-lived pink ward.
Yeah. Didn't last, but at least it made him avoid it. Wow, speaking of face checking, Ixu in a lot of trouble, takes some damage, uses that explosive cask and the body slam to back away. Has to burn his ult for that. Nearly a kill for Kongdoo Monster.
Able to answer with the Rift Herald, so at least picking up a neutral after losing out on the dragon.
Yep.
Gold leads for every lane basically from Afreeca Freecs, but very small ones.
Well, Edge has the package now.
Quinn does not.
Nope, no package for Quinn. Well, no, remember, she is the package.
That's true.
She's always the package.
So it's equal then?
Sort of. I think it's in favor of Quinn. I mean, because Corki has to go back to base once in a while and pick his package up. And then he usually just like uses it and it's gone for a while.
Quinn with the perpetual package.
Yep, that's right. That should be the new champion subtitle name, you know? You have like the champion name and subtitle. Quinn, the package.
No, the perpetual package.
Perpetual package. There's the package getting dropped onto Mickey. Mickey trying to back away, gets exhausted. Here comes Snowflower to try to help out. Crush on the other side of the wall there. And KDM, wow, Kongdoo Monster going for it right now. Snowflower taking a lot of damage, also stay alive. There is the knockup from Hippo's ultimate. And now Kongdoo Monster on the run. Teleport coming in from X2, and this does not look good for Kongdoo. Crush and Soul zoning out, and I feel like they're a little bit lucky that the Afreeca Freecs didn't continue to chase that.
Afreeca did push them away from mid. They had the inside track to getting some turret damage, so have the Rift Herald as well. They should be doing basically immense damage to structure, but they back away.
True enough.
Surprising. I think they need to, but I guess the minion wave was still far away, so No way to actually take down the mid lane structure. That would have been a massive win for Afreeca in that case. So the teleport kind of wasted from Ixu, all things considered.
Yeah, they didn't really end up getting anything extra out of it, did they? That said, Ixu does have a nice little CS lead going up in top lane.
As I mentioned, going to be building into the Spirit Visage to make him basically unkillable to the large majority of the Kongdoo monster lineup.
Yeah.
So fairly even, although Afreeca, similar to game one, have jumped to a small lead.
True. We've seen that lead overcome in game number 1, but this time around, things are definitely different as far as what the Freecs composition is capable of doing.
A lot more comfort also. Lyra not going for the flashy champion in the Sejuani, going back to the Graves that he's shown a lot of good performance on. Mickey following in Edge's footsteps of leaving lane early and looking for the split push.
That's right.
Good thing this gives Afreeca is because they're able to swap Mickey into the bot lane, and most of the time he's going to be able to respond to mid lane or skirmishes around the map because of the mobility with the ultimate. You suddenly give the shortest lane in the game to Kog'Maw, so he's going to get very safe farm and get to that 2-item power spike with the Hurricane that much more safely in the mid lane.
Yeah, just looking at the gold across the board right now, it's, I mean, as you'd expect, pretty even up, except for that top lane where Ixu is got a decent lead on the Hippo.
It's looking good, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I just like this lane assignment where Civ is trading farm with Quinn, but more importantly, Kog'Maw is getting the safest possible farm in mid. So with that no escape AD carry, that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're back to farming for the moment.
Dragon to fight for in just over a minute and a half, but it's that phase
Blue
of
buff
the
to
game.
fight for now, though.
Maybe.
Mickey can certainly kill it pretty quick. Can Guger do it? Just steals one of the little minions. And Mickey getting chased away. He has to back off. Wow, they make him give up that blue buff.
Yep, Mickey goes for the
over to
steal.
Soul.
Doesn't get it. They put the pink ward down for vision, so nice steal from Kongdoo.
Yeah. Not bad. And now Kongdoo actually putting the pressure onto the bottom lane. And weirdly enough, Afreeca Freecs, they kind of just seem pushed around at the moment.
They just don't have the flexibility of Kongdoo's comp. They don't have Sivir to be able to pop that ultimate. They don't have the ability to react to multiple lanes. Once again, Corki can make it to different lanes. It's more mobile than the Kog'Maw, but Kog'Maw with free time, getting some turret damage in.
That's a lot of turret damage.
Don't have that same flexibility with Kog'Maw to react around the map. He's a bit like a Nivea, really, when it comes to champions. Wants to be anchored to mid and clearing waves where possible.
Makes sense. Does make a certain amount of sense.
It's AoE vomiting now, so he's happy.
Oh yeah, who wouldn't be? Sounds like a ton of fun.
To be fair, single target vomiting also sounds very weird.
Just doesn't sound good in general. Dragging up in 15.
I thought he had the drop, but there was a ward there.
Trundle getting really excited about dropping that pillar, man.
He's stoked.
He's always like, oh yeah! I don't know if I'd be so excited, but then again, you know, it's kind of a cool ability. You know, you make this big pillar come out of the ground.
I know,
It might be
right?
helpful. It might be helpful sometimes.
That's why you exclaim, yeah!
I guess.
Does sound a bit like the Kool-Aid Man every time he pops.
Oh yeah. But the Kool-Aid Man destroys geography. He does not create it.
And that's why it's different, and that's why it's not copyright infringement, though.
I suppose. Kool-Aid guy breaks through walls. Trundle kind of fills gaps in them.
Creates temporary terrain.
Yeah.
Overlap.
More or less. So nobody going for the dragon right now, I guess.
Let's farm instead.
Yeah, Essence Reaver done now for Soul.
Everyone's short of the 2 items. Actually, the person closest to it, worryingly, from a Kongdoo perspective, is Sangyun, who already has the recurve bow and extra attack speed towards the Hurricane.
True. Why not grab another Rift Herald?
He is an objective no one contests.
Yep. Well, I mean, we've seen it once in a while, but yeah, usually no. Mickey's trying to get out of there. Looks like he'll, ooh, ulting.
Doesn't have the most mana, but
Mickey might want to try to stop this dragon.
Gragas is teleporting back, but remember, has summoned a spell teleport. They could look for a fight here, Afreeca.
Yeah, here comes the Afreeca Freecs. Teleport being used. Mickey comes from the side a little bit early. Does a lot of damage to Crush and Soul, though. And now Afreeca all over this dragon. Yeah, Hippo alone. Edge from the side. The engage a little bit disjointed. Mickey gets a lot of damage onto Soul here. Nice catch onto Mickey, though, and he may go down. Gets low. He does. Kongdoo trying to strike back, but they are just too low health after that. And Afreeca Freecs should win this team fight handily. Crush trying to save his top laner, but he just can't do it. Edge, though, with a lot of damage. They may turn Afreeca around right here. They do. For the moment, that was a big rocket. Edge gets chased, so exhaust immediately onto Ixu. Hippo goes in onto Lyra. That was a bad decision. Meanwhile, Snowflower zoning. Crush tries to repel, tries to get away. And why did Kongdoo Monsters chase that, man? They could have just let it go. Decided to go back in low health. And it got punished by Afreeca Freecs. It was just not a great plan by Kongdoo Monster, was it?
Well, they didn't really have any way to force after that door. They had the high health bar on Edge. That's why they wanted to go in. But the positioning from Kongdoo was pretty poor in this scenario. Mickey went for the flank, was punished. But the big issue is that Corki this whole time does literally nothing. He's not involved. Sangun's free hitting at the back. No more threat on him with Hippo so low. And because Corki's not there to impact the front line, Hippo basically just takes free damage for the majority of the fight. And the big issue for Kongdoo, started the dragon, took a lot of free damage, poke damage, then weren't grouped. So they were lucky to pick up the focus fire and take down Mickey. But overall, this was never a fight they were going to win convincingly and were almost punished, like put to the sword basically at the end.
They need to be careful with that. Kongdoo does find an opening for this dragon, though. It doesn't look like there will be a way for Afreeca Freecs to contest it.
Rush straight out there, as you mentioned. Mickey decides to go top lane instead. Remember, doesn't have teleport. Still has a lot of maneuverability.
You know, that is important going forward, that Mickey can be an effective split pusher, but he doesn't have teleport. And that's something that Kongdoo Monster can try to exploit as the game goes on.
That's what Trace was the first one to understand. Probably the first Champions player in, what, 2.5 years to not take teleport in the top lane? When he went Ignite Quinn top.
You've got the mobility. It's not the same as teleport, but you can move around a lot quicker than other champions, of course.
Well, level 16 especially, you're comparing, what is it, 3.5 second channel to 650 move speed, or whatever it is that Quinn hits, so you're right. But there's the margin of difference between the two isn't that much, and Quinn is also a champion that doesn't want to teleport into the back line, isn't really looking to flank so much as skirmish or look for an assassination. So it's a different type of it's a bit like Gangplank, right? Who needs to teleport in early rather than a Maokai who's ready to teleport anywhere.
That is true. Ixu coming up just to defend his top lane for the moment. And now a little bit of pressure on the mid lane, but just nothing that the Afreeca Freecs can push right now.
Afreeca are finding a Corki, Sivir, and even Nautilus is pretty good at wave clear, so pushing turrets, not trivial without winning a team fight for Afreeca. The wave clear much lower from an Afreeca side, but with 380 carries, you can get the job done. Buddy system.
Yep. Oh, wow. Mickey forces the ultimate out of Soul just by showing up. Freecs, though, in the mid lane, going after this turret. Again, how much damage can they really do? Not a lot beyond the minions.
Minions, unbreakable, decent wave clear options from Elise, especially early, so no way to punish.
Yep, that's right.
So it's still down for about another 45 to 50 seconds, though, and Afreeca smartly rotate to bottom.
Yeah, and I mean, this is more measured play than what we saw from the Afreeca Freecs in game number 1. They're going to get that turret, and okay, they're not going to get that turret. It's got 49 health. Now they're going to get it. There we go. One auto, that'll do it.
And Nautilus had a lot of free time in top, but still is Nautilus, so certainly not able to match. No turret damage done whatsoever. Ixu can just go for a walk, come back, clear waves. He's happy.
Yep. Is he, though? Does that make you happy, Papa Smithy?
Look, he
just
takes
go for a walk and clear waves.
He takes a lot of celebratory sips of his I believe it's cognac in this skin. I forget.
Cognac. Oh, well, yeah, maybe.
It is Gragas Esquire.
That's true. Or it might be like just a bottle of wine. I
Mulled
don't
wine,
know.
maybe?
No, mulled wine is served like hot in a glass, not from a bottle.
Fair enough.
I should know. I make it every winter.
Really?
Yeah, it's delicious.
Fair enough. I've never had mulled wine.
Well,
Even
mine is
as
awesome.
a faux Englishman, I've never had mulled wine.
Is that what Australians are?
Well, I'm actually, I have a British passport as well.
I know you do.
No.
I'm just messing with you, mate.
The answer to that question is no. Don't say that.
Okay. I don't know what Australian slang there is for like messing around or joking.
It probably involves language not suitable for
That's
broadcast.
probably true. That's a good point.
Most of Australian language is in fact not broadcast ready. What you hear from the LPL casters is some global language, not Australian.
I see. So I have heard.
We're not big fans of hard consonants or being sparing with swear words.
Yeah. It seems like everybody's nickname has to end with Azza.
Yep, Shazza, Bazza. Speaking of Bazza, he's been taken down.
Oh. What do you know? There goes. Is that Baron's new name?
Bazza, yeah.
Afreeca Freecs going for the Baron. Going for Bazza. There he goes. And Afreeca Freecs have the pressure now. Kongdoo just straight up late to the party. They didn't have vision. They didn't seem to pick up that it was going on until it was too late. What can you say, man? This is what we kind of expected going into this one.
A triple AD carry comp with Kog'Maw especially. They have two people that can tank the Baron, specifically Ix, who can tank it for days and punish the lack of foresight from Kongdoo, and it's a big buff. And now suddenly it's a Quinn comp with Baron, so that's fun to deal with.
Oh, yeah. The split push is real.
Sol has very good wave clear. It's once again an Essence Reaver, Static Shiv, Sivir, so not much fun to be had, but certainly can potentially be assassinated by Mickey.
It's true.
Depends how aggressive he wants to get, which if he's staying to type, is pretty damn aggressive.
You say Sivir, but I call her Sazza.
Oh, Sazza?
Right. Oh,
Well,
no, not
that's
Sazza. He can't fight this 1v1. Mickey going in for the easy kill. Good job, Mazza. There goes the mid Tazza. And Afreeca Freecs continuing to just grind out a win here. And, you know, the first game was so bizarre. The Sejuani pick, the composition Afreeca Freecs went for, you know, this is more like what you'd expect in this matchup. Kongdoo Monster, unfortunately for them, just looking completely outclassed.
Well, they just pick a jungler that can skirmish and has pressure early. They just pick earlier power spikes. You've got no gangplank on this line. There's no Sejuani. They apply pressure. And even though Kongdoo Monster have never done anything outright poor, they've just been outplayed by the earlier power spikes from Afreeca.
Yeah. It's been one of those games, but I'm glad I'm learning how to speak Australian.
That's, again, if there's ever anything to take away from a series, learning how to speak Australian is great.
Yeah, I mean...
we don't say Australian, it's Australian.
Australian?
Australian, yeah.
Australian. Speak Australian. Got it.
There's no AU, it starts with
Speak
S.
Australian.
S-T-R-A-Y-A-N.
I'll work on it.
Workshop it, Noah.
I'll do my best.
Next time we cast together, I'll test you on Australian.
Oh boy. I'll try to study as much as I can. You know, a lot of Crocodile Hunter, Crocodile Dundee, just crocodile everything, really.
Just put a picture of a crocodile on your background. You'll work it out.
That's right. I'll just get like one of those body pillows, but have like a crocodile cover, and I'll just practice wrestling it.
You know, if you search for on the internet, you can probably buy a crocodile body pillow.
You could probably buy a Crocodile Hunter body pillow too, and that's
a bit morbid, though.
I'm not that kind of fan.
That's a bit morbid too.
A little bit. Well, no, he's just really famous.
But he's dead.
Yeah, but we still love the Crocodile Hunter.
I don't know if I want the loving embrace of a dead celebrity.
Jeez, you took that to a really grim place, man.
Well, you're literally going to be hugging the pillow. It's a sleeping apparatus.
Sure.
He's dead. Just following the logic, Doa.
Okay.
I know that's sometimes a risk on this broadcast, but I'm trying to follow the logic.
It's better if you don't. It's really better if you just kind of let it flow, you know? You know, the Baron pressure from Afreeca Freecs was not that great. They didn't get a whole lot done, did they?
distracted by Australianism, so
Yep.
didn't see, but they're going to keep pushing. So there's risky. They still are very squishy at the core.
That's right. Oh. And that mid lane turret takes some damage, but we've got the teleport coming in. Mickey right there, though, gets jumped on by Hippo. Mickey getting chased away, and he is most of the damage on the Afreeca Freecs team. There goes the Quinn. And now, Kongdoo Monster does have a chance to push ahead a little bit. No big objectives to take, but maybe they can get that mid lane turret.
Worth noting, as you mentioned, did nothing with the Baron buff, then donate a kill over. Why is Mickey on the flanks with no flash? He used his flash to get the pick onto Sivir earlier.
I don't know, man. But they sent him down under, didn't they?
That's not what we call the grave in Australia.
Yeah, okay.
We live down under.
my bad.
Oh dear.
Well, it kind of worked. But they can't get the turret. They have no minion wave. So Afreeca Freecs defending that one, kind of getting away with one there.
Yeah, it just seems like Afreeca, they look for the Baron play, they don't pull it off, they give up a kill, and then just go back to pushing lanes, because that's worked so far.
Yep, it has. More lane pushing.
But you see what Sivir grants, right? It's that even in a massive disadvantage, you can't split push against the Sivir. You need to make the plays against the 4 or the 3 or one of the other lanes, because Sivir next to a turret, there's just no pushing it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to invest multiple people to die for, and then with spell shield and flash up, that is always a tricky proposition.
True. Where do all these arrows that come down when Quinn disengages her ultimate come from?
A quiver, probably.
Yeah, but she shoots them in like a perfect circle. It's almost like the bird is holding it, you know, holding all the arrows, and he just spreads its wings and throws them all down.
And that's your biggest concern when Sivir's walking around with this blade, that she could possibly...
Well, we've talked about that before. I wouldn't want to have a blade like Sivir's. I'd like cut my own arm off.
Especially in this skin. This is the biggest offender of all of them.
Scary, dude. Afreeca Freecs trying to put some more pressure across the multiple lanes.
Seeing Mickey keep pushing up to what did eventually get that turret, so going to be very difficult to split the inhibitor though, unless Kongdoo really are caught with their pants down.
It's still not a massive lead for Afreeca Freecs right now. They have all the pressure, and it seems hard, but you know, a big team fight could turn this one around, and given the way these games have been going, I would not be shocked if it happened.
It's never an insurmountable lead when you have these squishy triple AD comps, because you get the right teleport flank, you get the right engage, and multiple people fall down quickly. They're a bit like pre-30-minute turrets. They fall like paper, so... Okay, teleport not available from Hippo, but the next teleport flank might actually be the decider this game.
Maybe. They've already taken advantage of Mickey's poor positioning. Once this game, they could do it again. Dragon and Baron coming up soon. And the Kongdoo Monster does have the edge in Dragon. It just sounds so strange to call them the Kongdoo Monster. Wow, a little bit of damage on Ixu there. They should be monsters.
I agree, it's a missed opportunity. There's pocket monsters, there should be Kongdoo monsters, but there's not.
Yeah.
They're just a single monster. That's because they play with a single mind. They're organized, though. It's a macro name.
Do they? Are they?
You know, I think they try pretty hard, really.
Okay.
Whereas Afreeca Freecs is pretty indicative of what happens for Afreeca. They all try many different things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I mean, the Afreeca Freecs are just the most wildly inconsistent team we have in the tournament by far. I mean, they can be so good, and then they can kind of have matches like this where they really do play to the level of their opponents, and they look, frankly, very sloppy.
Sure, but do you know what the interesting thing is about the 2016 season? How many times have these head-scratching results happened?
A lot.
Often the favorites get 2-0'd in series because the teams are so close that whoever comes in with the better preparation on the day picks up the win. KT versus Jin Air last week. We're like, okay, KT's finally in form. Instantly 2-0'd, no hope. We see SKT versus Jin Air. Every expectation that Jin Air should win the series 2-0, 2-1. SKT comfortably win 2-0. Longzhu beating SKT 2-0. The results are thick and fast, and because the teams are so close, you never know who's going to win.
I suppose they're going to jump onto Snowflower here, going for the pick. Edge gets exhausted as Snowflower flashes over the wall to escape, trying to pop that Braum pass if they don't quite get to him in time. Meanwhile, Ixu and Lyra binding up Guger and Crush on the other side of the river. Crush forced to flash over the wall, and Kongdoo Monster makes an attempt at a pick, and they don't come away with anything except for a few burnt summoner spells.
They can't back away. They already were punished once with the Baron.
Yep.
Hippo's not having any fun.
No, I don't think so. Wow. Meanwhile, Soul on the run. Lyra chasing him down. Jungler versus AD carry. Oh, he misses the ultimate. Mickey gets the kill, though, down in bot lane at the same time. Finally, Mickey does go down. I guess he took too many turret hits.
The passive procced on the last auto attack, dying from Nautilus
yeah.
to stun him under turret.
Well, that works, yep. So worth.
That feel when Nautilus was able to stop the split push. With summoners up too.
Yep. And Afreeca Freecs, they just step back, they take this dragon. Kongdoo really can't do anything else at this time rather. Are they going to go for a Desperation Baron?
This is going to be a great replay. So Nautilus is basically just taking free orders. That's the reality of the matchup. Mickey gets greedy as you'd expect, stunned under turret and dies to the turret.
Yep. Pretty much.
Dive a Nautilus at your peril, Mickey learns.
I'd say so. And we might see a fight here. They'll go in onto Snowflower. Snowflower taking a lot of damage. Nice explosive cast, though, from the Freecs. Suddenly, Monster on the run. Double kill comes in from that Graves ultimate. And Afreeca Freecs, it's time for the Afreeca cleanup, it looks like. As they push down the mid lane for a moment, but they can just turn onto this Baron anytime. Mickey doesn't have the teleport, but he's going to go down and split push in bot lane while his team takes Dragon, it looks like. Or Baron, rather.
Yeah, while they take Baron, it's a 4-man unit. They have excellent Baron damage. Don't even need Mickey. He's going to keep applying pressure. Suddenly, Kongdoo caught in 2 mines. Such a low percentage chance of stealing Baron. They're stopping the split push is smarter, but Mickey already packs up, leaves. No tracking down that Quinn and no stopping Baron for Kongdoo Monster.
Yep, that's right. It just seems like Kongdoo Monster tries to find these picks. They try to find these opportunities, and they just get rejected, and they lose a couple people on the way out. So in the end, Afreeca Freecs just playing better. You know, not necessarily playing great, but they're playing better.
They're doing what they need to do. Even the Kog'Maw pick's done just fine. The game hasn't been about Kog'Maw. Once again, it's been Kongdoo not respecting the speed that Baron can be completed, and that first Baron buff was stolen away under their noses. And now we're just in a scenario with a 9,000 gold lead, with a front line that's tanky enough. Hippo's being carved down by these multiple AD carries, and Gragas top has done a lot of work.
Yeah, it has. Ixu's been really great with those explosive casks. He's been there at the right time. He's made the plays. Lyra's been great in the jungle, and as we see this mid inhibitor turret fall, this game seems to be all but wrapped up for the Afreeca Freecs. Meanwhile, Mickey's like, nah, I don't want to die in a turret again. He's actually afraid of Hippo right now. That's hilarious. Some CC onto Ixu, but it doesn't end up doing much damage. Now that turret's going to fall. This is becoming a real big problem. Alt use, that's right. Lyra on the side, exhausted. Mickey comes in trying to do the damage. Hippo trying to be that tanky front line, but he's just not tanky. Edge getting some damage out of that Corki. Another big explosive cast comes in, and that leads to the double kill. It's going to be an ace in favor of the Afreeca Freecs, and you got to think that's going to be the game after they eventually finish off Crush. There it is, another double kill for Mickey. There goes the inhibitor. They've got the minion wave right there. They've got the Baron, and this series will be all tied up 1-1 as Afreeca Freecs take game 2. It wasn't the most pretty affair in the world, but it gets the job done. GG.
Afreeca did it their way, Doa. It's with the Gragas top, it's with the Kog'Maw that didn't necessarily seem like the smartest pick, but they went back to the meta, and putting that Gragas top meant that Lyra could go back to the Graves, by far his most impressive jungle champion this season. They had the right mix of damage and disengage for the triple AD. They played to their win conditions. There wasn't a Gangplank. There wasn't a Sejuani that could maybe force them to drag it out, and they were always out of touching distance of Kongdoo Monster, and thus pick up a comfortable victory.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. And going into Game 3, again, you really expect the Afreeca Freecs, if they can kind of keep it consistent, can close this one out. But I think it really comes down a lot to the picks and bans, too. If the Freecs try something freaky, might end up blowing up in their face.
That seems to be the story of this set so far. They tried something freaky in Game 1, got punished for it. Kongdoo played a clean game in Game 2. They got blown away, and now I think if Afreeca stays tight, they should stick the landing. They should win the series, but always the chance they get too cute. They go for something that's a bit too optimistic, and Kongdoo win.
Funny thing is that Kongdoo Monster had 2 members of their team that did more damage than anybody on the Freecs, but in the end it doesn't matter. We'll see after this.